Hi, in this video I'll be demonstrating how to use a Meto hand labeler. Now I've got a 1522 here, but it will apply for pretty much every Meto gun, whether it's a single, double or triple line. First, we're going to unload a roll of labels from the Meto. To do this, you just break the roll of labels on the base plate, apply some pressure to open up both sides, and we pull the roll out. Then use the handle to dispense the remaining backing paper. To load a roll of labels in a Meto hand labeler, first we open the base plate. To do this, there's a tab on either side which you pull back, and then use your index finger to open up the base plate. You'll see that there's a hole straight through the middle of the gun. That's where we want to feed our labels. Take a roll of labels, ensuring that the print or that the paper part of the label is facing upwards. Flatten out about 10 centimeters, and we're going to put that through the gun and straight through that hole. Now for the Meto guns, you just need to use both thumbs to open up the gun and then slide the roll of labels in there, and it'll just kind of sit by itself in there. So then we pull from the bottom of the gun to get some of those labels out. Present about 15 centimeters, and we're going to close the base plate. That'll lock into place, and then with these Meto guns you want to ensure that your label just goes right tight around that base plate. So with some other guns you want it against the roller, but for this you want it tight against that base plate there. Then we need to feed the labels through this mechanism. To do that, push the mechanism forward by depressing the handle, and we just put our labels through there. Make sure they get most of the way through and out the back of the gun, and then when you let go of that handle, it'll start to catch on them. And the labels are loaded. If the ink on your labels is starting to fade, it's probably time to change the ink roller on your Meto labeler. To change the ink roller on a Meto labeler, you hold down the handle, and at the front of the labeler you'll see it presents this cradle. You can use your finger to pull that out, and then there's these grey tabs on either side holding in the ink roller, and you just slide that ink roller off and it comes out with the grey cradle. Now you'll see that the ink roller in its package doesn't come with the grey cradle, so we need to take it off there before we replace it. To take it off, I like to use a tissue, and we want to pop it out on either side. Once we have the old ink roller out, it's time to get the new ink roller in. So we open up the packet, take out the new ink roller. I like to hold it on the ends, and then we place it into the cradle, and then right on the edge you just want to pop it in, and you can hear it click in on each side. Then we need to put this grey cradle back into the gun. To do this, hold down the handle. It'll present that unit at the front. We just hold that open, take our cradle, and we're going to slide it in there. Once it's sitting in, you just let go, and we've changed the ink roller on a Meto hand labeler. Sometimes you might find that the print on your label is too high or too low. If that happens, you need to do a printhead adjustment. It's really easy on a Meto tool. There's a flathead screw right in the middle of the base plate here, underneath the backing paper. You don't need to remove the backing paper to do this adjustment, and you don't need to remove the screw entirely. You just loosen it and tighten it, and depending on how loose or tight it is, will determine where the print comes on the label. So you just go straight through the backing paper like this, and we can tighten it or loosen it. And then you can continue to print. So just repeat this process a few times until the print is exactly where you want it on the label. Another handy hint with the Meto labelers is that if you'd like to print a blank character, all you have to do is just keep going on the band until it actually stops you, and that'll be a blank spot. So unlike other guns where they will let you go all the way through, this one will stop at the end on the blank, and if you go any further, you could risk damaging the gun. So just be wary of that. And that applies if you go the other direction as well. It'll just give you a bit of resistance, and that means you're on a blank and you're on the end of the characters.